I'd like to call the Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Ms. Brown, would you please take the roll?
Sunday. Here. Mumgard. Here. Gaines. Here. Glover. Here. Fanslaw. Here. Hoke. Here. Stube. Engberg.
Here. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
We do.
The current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. Ms. Powers, Administrator's report, please.
Thank you. As you know, the Papillion Landing facility has been open for nearly 6 years. It is still new, but also we now have patron analysis and staffing information to use to build some solid trending data analysis. Over the past 3 months, I've been working with Tracy and Tim on a Recreation Department strategic plan to look at long-term solutions for the overall efficiencies of the department. We are looking at making some operational changes to the department to support the analysis. And as a result, there will be a request on the next council agenda for the introduction of an amendment to the management exempt ordinance to allow some position changes and to create new management exempt positions within the Recreation Department to support the strategic plan findings. The overall Recreation Department budget supports the changes. However, at the next budget amendment, we'll have to reconcile between the internal recreation funds through the amendment process to properly capture the changes within the budget. Please reach out to myself if you have any questions. And also just a quick city park update. You'll see concrete getting poured next week, which is really exciting. We're still on track to host Papillion Days at the park. But we are working very closely with the Papillion Foundation on the contingency plan if the large pavilion isn't completed yet, which is the one thing that we're still unsure about, and we've been unsure about this whole time. Flood proofing of the pavilion will use up most of the project's contingency funds, which we anticipated. And you will see a change order for the flood proofing and a few minor other changes will be presented at the next council meeting on November 4th. And again, reach out to myself if you have any questions on those. And then I do have a fun update. The poured in place rubber surfacing projects at both Hickory Hills Park Playground and the Halleck Park Playground finished last week. Both parks are now fully operational and open back up, which is awesome and exciting just in time for winter. Thanks, Tony and your crew for all that work. And then just a couple of quick reminders. The fall cleanup days started yesterday and run through Sunday the 26th. As always, they're open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. And the shredding services will be on Saturday only. That's 7 a.m. to noon. And then the Recreation Department's Halloween Safe Night is going to be held for the second year in a row at the Papillion Landing Field House. And that's this Thursday, October 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. with the costume contest at 7 p.m. I do want to warn people that the landing will be a very busy place on Thursday. There's a lot going on. So do expect some parking congestion, different things with all the different activities. We do want to thank our partners that we have for this event. The Mayor's Youth Council steps up every year and helps us. The Titans High School Students Key Club, Papillion Recreation, and various city staff. So we look forward for another great event there. And then one last quick FYI, Mark and I will be in Tampa for the ICMA Managers Conference this upcoming Friday until the following Wednesday. So that's October 24th to 29th. And as always, we will be available by phone or email, but we may be delayed in getting back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilman Fanslow. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. If there's no objection, I'd like to move F6 all the way up. It's just the manager application for a liquor license. So I figured instead of having them at the very end of the agenda, maybe they'll appreciate it being at the beginning of the agenda, and I saw a thumbs up. So if is there any objection to that? Okay. Item F6, Resolution R250203, a resolution to approve Tammy Kolodzinsky as the corporate manager for Fraternal Order of Eagles 4029. Doing business is FOE Area 4029, 102 North Washington, Papillion for the Class CK liquor license. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R250203? Motion by Councilman Engberg. Second by Councilman Glover. Any proponents or opponents? I'll note that the applicant is here. Any council discussion? Please, yes. Mr. Sunday. Ms. Brown?
So a Class C liquor license is just a standard retail license that allows for, I believe, on-sale only beer, wine, and distilled spirits, but then it also, the K is a catering provision, so it allows them to have an unlimited number of special designated liquor licenses at other locations with local approval.
That answered? Okay. Any other discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. Appreciate it. And they're having a chili feed Saturday evening, 5:30. On Saturday. Thank you. Item D1, Ordinance 2070, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from AG Agricultural to R2 Single Family Residential Medium Density and R4 Multifamily Residential for the property legally described as part of the southeast quarter of the northwest quarter, along with part of the northeast quarter of the southwest quarter, all located in Section 36, Township 14 North, Range 12 East, generally located on the southwest corner of South 66th and Cedardale Road. The applicant is MDRP LLC, Trumbull Hills. Is there a council member to introduce? Here. Introduced by Councilwoman Hoke. Item E1, Ordinance 2068. An ordinance to approve the vacation of alley right-of-way within Block 43 Beatles Second Edition as platted, surveyed, and recorded in Sarpy County, Nebraska, with title thereto divided between the abutting landowners. That's a public hearing. I'll open it. Are there any proponents? Those in favor? Any opponents? Those against? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Item E2, Ordinance 2069, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from AG Agriculture to LI Limited Industrial for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the northeast quarter, Section 3, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located at the southwest corner of South 156th Street and Shram Road. Applicants Hubble Realty, Sarpy West Industrial. It's public hearing. Proponents, welcome.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Coster with Thompson, Dreesen, and Dorner, 10836 Old Mill Road, Omaha 68164. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. This is a revised preliminary plat for 9 total industrial lots. Two of those have already been platted, and one of them has been built upon. That we expect the building to open soon. The remaining lots we expect to be similar uses, large warehousing, and otherwise I'm available for any comments.
Appreciate it very much. Any other proponents? Opponents? Close the public hearing. Item F1, Resolution R250198, a public hearing and a vote. A resolution to approve a revised preliminary plat for the property legally described as a tract of land located in northeast quarter, Section 3, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the southwest corner of 156th and Cedardale. Applicants Hubble Realty, Sarpy West Industrial. It's a public hearing. I'll take the comments over. The applicant's still here. Anything else to share? Okay. Any other proponents or opponents? I'll close the public hearing. Is motion to approve Resolution R250198? No. Motion by Councilman Sunday, second by Councilman Glover. Any discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item F2, Resolution R250199, a resolution to approve easements and right-of-way acquisition for the 90th Street Improvement Project, Highway 370 to Grunther Street. Motion to approve Resolution R250199. Motion by Councilman Hoke. Second by Councilman Fanslow. Proponents or opponents? Council discussion. Mr. Sunday.
Could I ask Mr. Kleffner a couple of questions?
Yes, sir.
My understanding is all of the acquisition will be on the west side of 90th Street, or excuse me, the east side of 90th Street?
There are a few lots where we have minor acquisition, but it's basically to adjust the right-of-way. There was one house, the old acreage that hadn't been platted yet. There is some acquisition there because it wasn't dedicated. It hadn't been dedicated.
Which property is that?
The one with the garage that kind of sticks out, that's never been platted. I don't know the.
You used to have like the apple trees.
Yes.
Yes, it was never really officially platted, and typically when when a subdivision is platted is when they dedicate the right of way from to the county or to the city. That one was never dedicated because it was never platted, so there's some right of way there that was acquired. It was minor. And then the rest of it's on the east side. Everything else on the west would be easements.
Okay. And the homeowner's fine with,
We had one homeowner that I would say, had a lot more questions than usual, but we worked through them all, and everybody's pretty happy from what I understand.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F3, ordinance 2067, an ordinance to amend Papillion Municipal Code Section 142.4 to provide for violations of parks and recreation rules and regulations. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2067? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Ingberg. Any council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. So related item F4, Resolution R250185, a resolution to approve initial parks and recreation rules and regulations. Motion to approve Resolution R250185. Motion. Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilman Sunday. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F5, Resolution R250201, a public hearing and a vote. A resolution to approve the 1 and 6 year road plan. It's a public hearing. I'll open it. Any proponents or opponents? Close the public hearing. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R250201?
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Mumgard, second by Councilman Gaines. Council discussion. Mr. Mumgard.
I guess I have a request of Mr. Kleffner. I see that the Cornhusker Portal Road area, both from all the way 72nd to 84th, 84th to 96th, is on here for multiple years. The design from 84th to 96th is in for 25, 26. The right-of-way from 72nd to 84th is 26, 27, and then construction, 72nd to 84th, is in for 27, 28.
Yes, sir.
In particular, the area from 72nd to 84th, can you just give us an outline of what changes are going to be made there?
On that project, we're taking it from a 2-lane to a 3-lane, so there'll be a center turn lane. There'll be a sidewalk on the south side and a 10-foot trail on the north side. We walked through on a 30% on that this week. There are some minor impacts, I would say, to right of way. There's one probably major impact, but it's mainly within right of way, but we'll work with the property owner on it. The other item that we're adding as part of the project is on the west end of the project, on the westbound, we'll add a right turn lane at 84th Street. It won't impact the church's parking lot or anything or their access. We'll actually start the right turn lane after their access point there to the west of the church entrance. So there shouldn't be any impact there to their operations, but we will be adding a turn lane right there also.
Okay, I know the water tower, put it this way, I'm in favor of the project. The water tower has in the past been an issue as to moving the road at all to the north side. What's the issue with that now?
The water tower really isn't as much of an issue as if we went wider than 3 lanes, we would have to take houses, and I'm not in favor of that. To me, that's not it's not a feasible thing in this situation. It's more of, the 3-lane roadway will take us up to, what I would say a level of service C up into 2045. Up to 2045, if we don't do anything, we'll be at a level of service F, which would basically be not during major traffic hours, you'd be bumper to bumper, stop and go. It would take us up to a level of service C at 2045. Now, it would take us to a level of service A, adding that turn lane through there.
In my view, that this has been needed for a number of years, but I know that there have been council members who've disagreed with me, and certainly it'll impact people's lives who live along there. What, if anything, I mean, this is 2 years off before construction. What, if anything, what interaction is the city having with the property owners along there?
So that's, I'm very, on my end, I'm very proactive with public outreach on the couple projects we've had gone out since I've been here. We've done public meetings. At this point at 30%, we hadn't finalized some issues. So our planning ahead meeting basically went through some of those issues. At the 60% is when we'll address right away, and at 60% we'll have a public meeting at 60%. We'll do basically we'll do an advertisement and then a mailer to the residents along the corridor. We'll have an in-house meeting basically with presentation boards, things like that, walk it through, and then we'll also have it where if the individual property owners that we know we're going to need to acquire permitting permits from, we'll meet with them individually and kind of walk them through the impacts and what the expectations are. And then we'll also do that at the final design, and then we'll also have another public meeting at a pre-con. So we'll do a final design meeting when we get to the final we'll do one at 60, one at final design, and then after it's bid, before they start construction, we'll have another meeting to introduce them to the contractor and whoever the foreman will be on the project, so that if contact needs to be made during construction, they can make contact with the contractor.
Well, okay, so the first one will be roughly with 60%. We're authorizing here with 16 million for the 27-28 budget year. When do you expect that, on a timeline, when do you expect that first thing to happen?
The 60%?
Yeah.
I anticipate that's probably going to happen in March, if not April of this next year.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you that 16 million for that segment, and we're putting in, let's see, I try to get my numbers here. 26 million for the construction, 84th to 96.
And 84th to 96 will be a 5-lane. It'll be a majority of it will be 5-lane. There'll be some areas where we'll narrow it down to a 4-lane, but it'll primarily be a 5-lane section through there.
Again, it's projects that I've been in favor of for years. I'm glad to see them on the plan. I know that discussion of the particularly 72nd to 84th over the years has raised opposition. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about that and seeing how that goes.
I'm hoping that from my standpoint that I think the impacts won't be as bad as what everybody's thinking it will be. We'll be putting in more walls than grading out. I think in the past, maybe individuals are looking at grading out, which would be a major impact to a number of those houses. We'll actually look at large block walls in most instances, so that way that most individuals, they'll keep their yard, they just may have a wall instead of a large drop off the way it is now.
Okay, that's good. I've driven through that stretch and tried to envision how you would get the right-of-way and the impact on the houses, and some of them I'm thinking, yeah, inevitably they're going to be impacted. So whatever can be done, the city can do to minimize that would be appreciated.
Mr. Gaines.
First thing is I just wanted to thank the mayor for the retreat where we had an opportunity to talk about the Halleck Park road system. Been a big proponent of that for a long time. I think it's long overdue. And then I really want to thank the city staff for finding a way to get it done without impacting other projects. Just a quick question for Mr. Kleffner. Can you, and it's not a high dollar amount, so I imagine it's not huge construction, but can you talk a little bit about the South Washington project, what work's going to be done there?
South Washington, the Cedardale Road and the Highland Drive. So currently there's the Highland Drive loops around there and kind of takes an exit right onto Cedardale, just like 30 feet from the intersection. What we're doing is we're actually punching that, instead of it turning to go south, we're actually going to punch it right out onto Washington Street, and then that small section, we're going to eliminate that and grade it out, so it'll be a nice sloped area. And then on the south side of that intersection, on the east side, we're adding a right turn lane, so the northbound there, going northbound Washington, will have a turn lane to go right on Cedardale.
Then will you be able to turn southbound, will you be able to turn left to get in there? I'm just wondering what impact it's going to have on, there's just a few businesses right there, but.
Yeah, no, currently, so that entrance right there, no, there will not be a break in the island there. That, the backup, the queue to turn onto Cedardale, on the southbound side is longer than what that queue would be, so it would cause a backup in accidents if we tried to put a break there.
So if you're heading south on South Washington, you'd have to take a left onto Cedardale and go up to the next street, take a left and go around. And have we talked to any of the businesses? Have there been any objections from any of them?
We've talked to the dentist office there, and we talked to the gentleman that owns Logo Logics. The Logo Logics gentleman had some concerns. We kind of walked him through it on what we had. We will allow U-turns there at Cedardale when we're done, so that'll allow them to U-turn there and come back around. And that one should have a protected green when we're done. So that should allow that to easily go around that way.
And the dentist office owns the building, so I'm sure they're working with the other tenants, and it's the dentist and local logics that are on the backside that would be impacted. Okay, so, thank you. You bet. Any other council discussion? Ms. Hoke.
Another question for Mr. Kleffner. Kind of following up on Councilman Mumgard's question. So there's one school that is immediately adjacent to the 72nd, 84th Cornhusker corridor, and one whose traffic pattern to the north will be likely impacted by that construction. How far, what services do the city provide to those schools in terms of developing a plan for pickup, drop-off traffic patterns with interrupted service on Cornhusker?
Oh, you're talking about on the Cornhusker, okay, the Cornhusker one. That one should be done during when school's out. If it's when we look at it, if they overlap during that time period, it'll actually be phased. Osage Street will be the phasing, and then during that, when we look at the phasing and the constructability, that's when we'll work with the schools to determine the best route for drop-off and things along those lines. We're still kind of in the early stages. We have to determine a pedestrian detour route also, so I'm still working through some of that now. At the 30%, we just make sure that we're not having any major impacts. And the big one right now is basically the NEPA process for the feds, and that's the environmental process for the feds, and that's where we just look at some major stuff to make sure we're not doing any major impacts. But no, when we go through it, trust me,
we do work with this.
Yep.
That's what I didn't want the city just going, surprise, figure it out. So,
no,
okay.
No, and that's part of the public meeting process too, is we invite all the stakeholders around to make sure that everybody's on the same page about what we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mumgard.
Give me a second to go down memory lane. I was on the council along with at least Mr. Engberg when we took Centennial from a 2-lane simple street to a 3-lane. And in part that was because that was aimed at getting traffic off of Cornhusker, 72nd to 84th Street. I think it has done that. It's been a very successful road. But as time goes on and growth happens, we just have to now increase the size of Cornhusker.
Any other council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. We already took care of F6. It's all the regular agenda items. No committees have met in the last couple of weeks. Any comments from the floor? If you can come up to the podium and then state your name and address for the record. And during the public period comment, if it's a published agenda item you're going to ask about, we might be able to have a little bit of dialogue. But if you're going to be talking about something that's not on the agenda, we can't have a dialogue. We can just listen. But go ahead.
Michael Freed, my address is 807 Donegal Drive. And I wanted to ask about agenda item E1. I didn't hear it come up about the vacation of the alley right away. I'm the abutting property owner. I own the property at 321.
Hold on one second. Nicole, can you, for the minutes, you'll grab that as part of the public hearing? So if there's no objection from council, kind of, if it's okay, reopen public hearing and we'll go ahead and take the comments.
I'm the one that requested to the city to have the alley vacated. I'm looking to the old house that's there. It's reached its end of life and it needs to come down. It's an eyesore. And what I want to do is build a duplex there that I'm going to move into. And I have an adult special needs son that's going to live on the other side. So my hope is that the alley's vacated and then I'll have enough room to have the right setbacks. But I will clean up and get rid of the old asphalt that's kind of torn up, and it'll just, I think it'll make everything look a lot nicer there.
Appreciate that. Thank you. And it'll be the next council meeting, then we'll actually have discussion and vote on it. So appreciate it. I'll close the public hearing if we opened it. Probably didn't handle that the best, but any council comments? A couple things from the last couple of weeks. We got our annual audit going on. I've met with the auditors, so they're doing their work. Appreciate the audit committee. With that, you'll probably, if you haven't had a meeting with them, I'm sure you will be. So thank you for that. We've had some meetings about generations development at the ballpark. We've been having some ongoing conversations about some potential development there that's being worked on. The Papillion Arts Foundation had an annual fall event downtown at the plaza. Kind of a first annual, had quite a few people there, so I appreciate what they're doing to raise awareness and bring traffic downtown. And just had a couple of other community meetings, but I think that's been most of the last couple of weeks. We do have a closed session tonight. So is there a motion to go into closed session to protect the public interest to discuss litigation? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. I'll state for the record, the purpose of the closed session is only to discuss litigation. Closed session will include the mayor, city council, city administrator, deputy city administrator, city clerk, and city attorney.